super cool feature to talk you through today, which is Code Interpreter within Copilot Studio. So if you've been building agents in Agent Builder in M365, you probably noticed a little tick box that allows you to turn on Code Interpreter to create new visualizations, understand quite complex spreadsheets. Well, now we've got that capability over in Copilot Studio too. But before we go into that, it's probably important to tell you what Code Interpreter actually does. So it does use Python runtime behind the scenes. This is safe, by the way, but it allows you to have prompts to do work on files and data, or even create new content off the back of it. So in our example, we're going to read a document, so a Word document, transform that text, and then generate a new document off the back of it. So it zips the outputs without actually leaving Copilot Studio, so it's all secure. Now, the key benefits of this is you can run Python inline as part of a prompt. So there's no external service now to go out and call. It's all built into Copilot Studio. This is preview, by the way. It's able to read and write files passing through the prompt, so return files as an output. And then it's going to be great for templating or shaping data or validating data through light automations as part of your workflow and tools as you're creating these agents. So think of this tool, this Code Interpreter, as a tiny little Python workshop that's inside your prompts that you're generating. Just like some of the use cases I talk to my customers about, generative AI doesn't need to be used across the board. We're going to use a set of tools that's the most efficient to perform that task. Python is awesome because most AI models can understand machine learning tools like NumPy or Pandas or PyTorch. They all understand Python. So we aren't training models here, but Python gives us a battle-tested set of libraries for fast iteration on data. So tied to my demo, this allows us to pass different strings. We can template through certain placeholders. I've got a video where I show you how to do manage content within Word. We don't necessarily have to do that with this tool anymore. And then we can output a file. We can create content off the back of that parsing. It's August 2025 at the moment, so this is in preview and the date of this recording, but let's show you how to enable this. It's default disabled, and we have to go to the preview element of Copilot Studio to also see the functionality. But let's walk you through the interface and show you what this looks like. So jumping over to the admin center for Power Platform, admin.powerplatform.microsoft.com, let's head over to Copilot. We're going to head over to settings, and then we're going to see this new code generation and execution in Copilot Studio. We're going to pick the environment. In my case, I've just got one default environment that I'm going to go into, and we're going to click add. And within here, this is going to be turned off by default. You want to tick this on, and then save your work. So once that's enabled, you can head over to the Copilot Studio portal. Now notice at the very top here, I'm going to copilotstudio.preview.microsoft.com. This is where you can see all of the pre-released preview features that are coming into Copilot Studio, of which Code Interpreter is one of them. We're going to then head over to Tools. You'll be able to see all of the different tools that you've got set up today. But what we're going to do is hit New Tool, and then we're going to go into Prompt. We can do this in Power Platform as well under AI Builder, so similar sort of principle to this. Now, what you're able to do is define instructions in here and actually choose the model that you want to use. But in this case, you'll notice that when you add content, we can add image or document here. If we click on this little eye, it's hidden for me right now, but I'll find a different way for you, is we can only use the supported versions of picture files or PDFs. Now, we can also use Code Interpreter to look at quite complex spreadsheets, for example, or Word documents. Now, you're not going to get that functionality here until you go into, let me just remove these inputs, up into the ellipsis, under settings, and then you're going to enable the Code Interpreter. Remember, we're in the preview version of Copilot Studio. That's really important. Otherwise, you won't see this capability. And then we're going to hit X. And now here, if I add in some new content, you'll also see, save that, is you'll see this now I have extra capabilities that are supported. So it's not just PDFs and image files, but also XLS, doc, and PowerPoint files as well as. Now, the cool thing is, once you've defined what your prompt is, and then we put in the parameters of the files that we're going to choose, then we can also test this as part of the model as well. So over here on the left-hand side, we're able to see some new functionality. So before you could output the prompt into text or format it into JSON, for example, so we can reuse different parts of the data. But now we also have documents and images. There's a document setting here as well, where we can upload a template that has some defined placeholders that this prompt and AI is actually going to put together. And that's as easy as having a template as simple as this. So if you saw my other video around building and filling out templates automatically, you'll see I was using managed data within Word. But here we can just define these by curly brackets about exactly what we want the information to be filled out with. So this is just normal text, by the way. And then when we upload that into the document settings, it's able to pass that document, that template, and then read all the different files that we might want to have filled out, which is pretty neat. Because it means then we could input a document such as another document or a PDF or even an Excel spreadsheet, and it's able to understand how it should interact with that data and then actually fill out that new file or that template with all of the data that's relevant in the information that we give it. That's pretty neat, right? So we're creating new content based on other content that we're giving it. While we're waiting for that new document to be filled out for us, let's talk about what's happening behind the scenes. So Python is reading the base 64 of the document, so the raw information of that Word document. It's replacing all of the placeholder tokens with the values from the fields from the information that we've given it, and then writes that DOCX file as it returns it. So it actually uses Python to read the incoming document, then looks at the headers and the footers. It opens up that docx file as a zip file. And then it's going to replace all of that information, as I said, and then actually returns the file back to us. So if you've ever gone into things like ChatGPT or into Copilot and you've given it a file or asked it for a file output, this is what it's using in the background. As I said before, Code Interpreter isn't new to any agents that you're building over in Agent Builder. So I'm over here in the M365 Copilot, and an agent that I've created in the past. So this is my legal helper, for example. You may have noticed some capabilities down here. So it allows you to enable Code Interpreter within these types of agents as well. And then if you go to the Microsoft documentation, this allows you to see the types of content or the types of information that you can pass through Code Interpreter and using Python. So in this example, we can see it can create graphs or charts. We can see it creating some bar charts here and some line graphs. It can also create QR codes as well. I don't know if you knew that. It was new for me as well as I was going through this new documentation. Some word art as well, Wordles, and some other synthesized data as well. So it's good at looking at complex code or math problems or spreadsheets if you want to really kind of dig into that. Now, the documentation to enable all of this is over on the Microsoft Learn site. So I'll put that in the comments below. But for now, that is it. If you want to enable that tool as well as part of your agent, you can simply just add it into your agent afterwards once it's created. So if I head back over to Copilot Studio for a second and open an agent of my choice, I can click on tools here and actually add in all of those different tools I've got access to. So this one's already been added here, but again, that's as easy as going into add a tool, going into your prompts, and you're able to see all the prompts that are created, and then selecting the one that you've just created as part of Code Interpreter. Now, each of those tools are going to have their own prompts, of course, their own use cases. So make sure that you enable and label those appropriately as well, so you know what those types of tools are actually going to go away and do. and as easy as adding those, and just making sure that the general instructions then for this agent is able to understand as and when it needs to use that tool for that specific use case. That's going to be it for now. I'll see you in the next one.